Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing great. We had amazing weather yesterday, and today I woke up and it was -1. Typical March for us. Um, I was thinking earlier this week on Monday. Monday was especially a tough day for us. So I sort of spent the week thinking about it, and today I decided I wanted to talk to you not about autism, but about ADHD and my family's choice to medicate my son. So, the first thing I should say is that there are lots of people that do not agree with medicating their child for ADHD, and I completely respect their choice. It is their choice for their family. Um, our family, on the other hand, it almost wasn't a choice for us because my son has the ADHD, inattentiveness, and hyperactivity. So the two prong, and that's really difficult to combat. And it sort of like puts fuel on the fire for everything else that we have going on. So, for instance, if he is feeling sensitive but also hyperactive, I'm never going to get him to eat or do any of the other things that he normally struggles with because of his sensory processing disorder or because of his autism. So I would say it's about a year and a half ago that we decided to try medication. And we tried the typical stimulants that are out there. Concerta is one of them, I believe. And there's also Adderall. I think Adderall was the one that he first started on. And it is a stimulant. And one of the side effects to that is that it can impact your appetite. And we couldn't afford to do that because with Carter's sensory processing disorder, his appetite is already like sucky. There's only like 20 foods he eats anyway. So it was too risky to have to go through that when we already have food issues. So the second one that we tried is the one that he is presently on, and it's working great. It is a non-stimulant, and it's called Strattera. And I guess one of the great things about Carter's age right now is that he is able to communicate a little bit with me, especially when he's calm, about how he feels about taking medication. Because I didn't sort of just say, you have to do this and you don't have a choice. We had lengthy discussions, him and I, about what it's like to take a pill every day, because I take like 5, and what the benefits of doing so are, and what the downfalls are. So the downfalls are you got to have it with you all the time. The benefits, of course, was something that he was only going to see if he actually took the medication. So he did decide to give that a chance. And when he did, amazingly, he said to me, I asked him one day, I said, how do you feel when you're not taking your medication? Because originally we started not giving him his medication on the weekends and only giving it in school so that he could pay attention. And he said, Mom, I feel the difference when I don't take my medicine. I feel mad for no reason. And I thought to myself, mad? Why would he be mad? So I asked him to try and describe the feelings he would have or the scenarios in which he would feel that way. And what I realized is what he was trying to tell me is not necessarily mad, but frustrated. He was having frustration all day long because he, wasn't able to hang on to the every word that was happening to get the details of the assignment, or he wasn't able to, sit still, and he didn't want to get in trouble, but he was getting in trouble anyway. And it's like the hyperactivity and the inattentiveness that comes with ADHD. What I want parents to understand is it's literally like a compulsion. They can't help it. They can't sit still. They can't keep their mouth shut. They literally cannot. It is not within their power to do so. No matter how much you yell at them or punish them or, move their desk if you're a teacher, they can't help it. Nothing's going to stop it. And when I realized this, then that he was having frustration for most of the day, I was like, it really opened my eyes to how he feels when he's not medicated. Like, how does he go about his daily life? It made it really clear to me why children on the spectrum and children who have ADHD suffer from depression. Because, Jesus, if you felt that way every day, that you had zero control over your actions and you were just sort of watching yourself get into, trouble in your classroom because you just couldn't handle it, that would feel awful. So we still medicate. And Carter's made the decision to also take the medication on the weekends. Well, he was complaining recently because he had an increase in his dose, and I guess it was a different brand, and the capsule's really stinky. So he wasn't wanting to take his medication. So for about 3 days, he just didn't take it. One of those days was Monday. And he came home already frustrated and upset because of the day he'd had at school. And then also a misunderstanding he'd had with his bestie. And he came through the door and he was upset. And we tried to sort of talk it out and work it out. But then there were other things that had to be done. And a play date couldn't happen. And our internet, for some reason, was slow. And he wasn't able to message his bestie so that they could fix the situation. And he had what I would refer to as a very unexpected meltdown. As a parent who deals with a lot of meltdowns, I can tell you that, and if you also deal with that, you know that you can usually tell when they're coming. So much so that the older your kid gets, you try and have some sort of intervention before the point of no return to avoid it. But sometimes you can't avoid it. In this case, this was what I would call an unexpected meltdown. There were not his typical precursors coming out. And it was major. Like, he trashed his room, throwing stuff everywhere. I was pretty sure he was going to punch a hole in his door. He told me he wished that I was dead, like 7, 8 times. He also told me he wasn't coming to my funeral. The older he gets, I mean, it used to be I wasn't coming to his birthday party, I'm not invited. Now, like, I'm dead, and he is just not even acknowledging my death. But seriously, that was a major, major one. And after that, we were like, we got to take this medication. Like, this is silly. These things do not happen when he's medicated and he's crying because don't ever think that a child going through a meltdown, not a temper tantrum, that's different, a meltdown, don't ever think or take anything personally because they have zero control. Zero control. It's like they're watching themselves do and say all these terrible things, and they have zero power over stopping it because it all just has to get out before he can reset at zero. That's basically how it works. And, and people are like, oh, well, he can use his words better or blah, 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 blah. He can't. He cannot. He is incapable. And I am fortunate that I have a pretty good support system and that I'm a lot bigger than him, because there have been lots of times where the physical violence piece has been a real issue. Hitting, kicking, slamming me in a door. He once was driving. Oh my gosh, I was driving once, and he took off his seatbelt, got out of his seat, stood up in the back seat of the van, and beat me from behind while I was driving. Like, we're talking, that's some crazy crap right there. Fortunately, it's been many, many years since I've had to deal with that level of physical abuse. Lately now it's just sort of like karate kicking the air, but not making contact with me. And I sort of figure that's his age and maturity coming as well, that he has better ability to verbalize his feelings so his meltdowns don't go there all the time. Because communication is one of the hardest things to deal with. And when frustration plays a part, that's really difficult. So anyway, medication, back to medication. Monday was brutal. Tuesday we medicated. He was like happy as a clam. He came home and he said to me, "Mom, I feel so good today. I'm glad we decided to have a gummy after my pill so I don't taste it. And I'm okay to take my medication again." And I was like, hallelujah. You just do what you got to do, I guess. Anyway, I think that today's video was really important for people that are on the outside and don't really understand ADHD, particularly if you're a family member, like a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle, and so you don't get the 24/7 picture of the child in your life and what they struggle with. You don't see that because you're not there all the time. And so you might think that there are things that the parent can be doing to change those behaviors and things like that. And I really hope that you consider what I've said as a little bit of perspective on how the kid feels and what little control they actually have over their actions in certain situations. Because that parent needs your support. They need your support. They do not need your suggestions on how to do things better. They don't need your creative solutions to consequences that are going to teach them in the future to get their homework done or do whatever. They don't need that. They just need your support and your hugs and your understanding. And the kid needs the understanding, that I understand that you are frustrated. And above all, and so many parents have said this to me, the ones that are friends with me and know me, it's the patience. I might, offload on you guys or something and be like, "Oh my God, he's driving me banana sandwiches." But I try and always have unending patience. Doesn't always work, but most of the time it's the patience, the enduring patience that gives him support and makes him feel loved in a place where he just feels frustrated. And yeah, anyway, that's about it. That's about it for me. I don't know if any of this has helped you at all. I'm gonna go drink a cup of coffee because I have a paper to write this morning and I'm procrastinating on doing that. But I'm gonna have a coffee. I'm going to say goodbye to the work week because it was a heck of a one for the kid and I, and yeah. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. See ya.